Anyway, so I was thinking, and so after after the washing, I then took a shower. So then, like, that continued to trail along into the CAS issue. And I was thinking, god damn, like, I would actually make a CAS camp. So I would organize a CAS camp, and I will, make an environment full of CAS opportunities for these students to nail their CAS hours. Nail their CAS hours. I would probably also have a CAS program and charge people, like, I don't know, a $10, $15 membership fee, and basically you're in my massive database and I will know what type of hours you need. I will sign your log thing for you, and what I'll do is I'll have like a huge emailing list, and like every time we go have planted tree day or something, I'll just like email all of the students and be like, hey, planted tree day, meet up here, and I'll take photos of all of you so that you don't have to worry about the evidence, and I'll happily sign it away, like happily sign your thing for you, be your supervisor. And yeah, because I feel like some people are really stuck and they don't really know how to even service, like how. And I know that they'll have to make a project, which is why another part of the program would just be like making your own project. So I'd pull these kids together and workshop them into developing their own their own projects, so their own creativity in action, or creativity in service, or service and action activity, and they can organize it themselves, and I'll just give them help. No one, like, kids aren't born geniuses, and they don't know everything, they don't know where to get help, and that's where I can help them. They'll be like, okay, we have this idea, but we're not sure how to set it off, or we're not even sure what we need, or how do we make this happen, and I can be like the guru of gurus, and be like, honey, these are the things you need to consider, and these are the people you have to ask. These are the people who can give you the information you need, the resources you need, and like, yeah. And, in addition to that, I think my program would have how to do CAS better. Because I know that a lot of people are lying about their journals, and they just don't really, I feel like they're not understanding CAS. And I feel like my school didn't really teach the IB learner profile. Sure, some of the InStep teachers went off about it, but I feel like they don't actually understand what the core crux of IB is. Community Action Service is literally smack bang in the middle, the most important core component of the IB diploma program. So for you to only focus on the academic side of things and only worry about what IB score you have, you've actually kind of missed the point of IB. And I feel like because your general teachers are just teachers that are teaching you your chemistry subjects, or they're your maths teacher and they're teaching you maths, there's no one really out there to teach you what CAS is and how to be a worldly person. And like, well, I mean, what a perfect crap. And I also don't think parents are very good at teaching their kids, not because they're bad parents, but maybe because they don't have enough time, or maybe I know a lot of Asians expect the schools to do that. It's not the parents' responsibility, whereas the Western society have a different view. So yeah, a lot of people actually, like, that's why we send them to your school, especially private schools, is because we expect you to teach our children, because we're too busy, or we're bad, we don't know any better, we're not as educated as you. I don't know, that would be my parents. So yeah, like, lots of schools are very competitive because parents want their students to have the best education, and I think education can't just only be on the academic component, it needs to focus on creativity, action, and service. And so yeah, I feel like I would workshop with these kids and tell them what it's about and how to draw all these life experiences from them. And then when I was drying my hair, I was like really crazy, and then I got really worried about people like having all this hate and be like, if you're so worldly and so godly and so great, you'd be doing it for free because that's, you know, one of the service things, but you're charging people for this service and going yada 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 yada. And then I had this like random speech in my head ready, like to combat my imaginary haters. That like I'd be saying, you know, okay, I'm sorry, why don't you do it? You know, and maybe you're not doing it because why don't you do it for free? Why don't you just take over, you know? And so maybe you don't do it because you don't have the resources, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have a method, you don't have the time. And probably because your work or your job gives you way more money than what this will. And then they'll be like, good point. Furthermore, I need money for the workshop space. Like, I can't just go to a random church or just go to some random place or invite like 100 kids to my house to hold this workshop. I need an area, I need a space, and I need to rent it. I'll need to book it, and that's expensive. So yeah, and I just sort of feel that, yeah, so basically I was just thinking about how basically the IB had removed the compulsory hours. They just had to have, it just depended on the quality of your journal, which I think is very important, but I also think that we do need some compulsory hours in there, because sometimes forcing these kids to do like an hour of exercise a week, or forcing them to like learn an instrument or just sing for an hour a week, or some sort of communal group team-based project, group-based project activity is not a bad thing. They'll learn so many more people skills and just they'll learn so much more. And I feel that it's part of having a balanced life. Like, I definitely did not have enough exercise back in high school. I wish I had more creativity hours. I enjoyed it and I really needed it as a stress reliever, but I simply just did not have enough time. I really was just like, oh my god, an hour here this week, an hour there that week, that's a lot of hours that I could have spent studying. Like, I should have known back then that actually those things were also equally important, because in my head it was just like an hour that I spend drawing, even though I love it, is an hour of studying gone. So that was just something I had learned, and I wish I knew earlier, because at the end of the day it didn't really pay off, and I probably should have just enjoyed my hour of drawing every week. Anyway, I think I've got down most of what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening to me and looking at my head and my hair, and hopefully my voice is audible, and I will see you next time. Bye!